Hey everybody, Scott Jansen here. In this video, I want to talk about solution-based questions when using conversational hypnosis or advanced conversational hypnosis, what they are, how to use them, and also some examples of what you could ask. So very simply, in case you don't know, a solution-based question is a question that asks your client how to solve their problem. So let me give you some examples of these because these are very common questions that I hear therapists and coaches asking their clients. It could be things like, what is the best way to overcome your anxiety? So think about what I'm asking my client to do right now. How could you stop smoking so it's easy for you? Now, we all know these are symptoms anyway, but we're going with this. So what is the best way to overcome your anxiety? How could you stop smoking so it's easy for you? If you did know, what would it be? Have you felt confident in the past? What is the one thing you could do to achieve your goals, stop smoking, find a better relationship, whatever it is, you just add in the context. And lastly, if you were to achieve this, what would it look like or what would it feel like? What would you do with it? Give me an example. So think about the context of what I'm asking my client here to do. I'm asking them, hey, you're sitting in front of me, you've got a problem. Please go find a solution. Now, what's wrong with this? Well, it's very, very simple. The reason your client is there is because they do not have a solution to their problem. So we don't focus on solution-based questions because your client just simply doesn't know. We don't even focus on solution-based therapy because your client doesn't know that the name sort of ruins it all. So the reason your client's sitting in front of you is because they have exhausted all the thinking looking for a solution. But just because they're sitting in front of you, or you might have put them in a light trance, does not give them more access to new solutions. This is in the context of using conversational hypnosis and advanced conversational hypnosis and therapy in general. So, like I said, the reason your client's sitting in front of you is because they don't have the solution. So, what's the alternative to help them find a solution? Asking them solution-based questions puts a lot of stress on your clients, a lot of pressure. And if you start hearing responses like, well, what is the best way to overcome your anxiety? Your clients can simply say, I don't know. How could you stop smoking so it's easy for you? Well, I don't know. That's why I'm here. If you did know, what would it be? Well, I don't know. Have you felt confident in the past? Yes. So let's find a way for you to feel confident in the future. What would that be like? Well, I don't know. I don't know how to do that. That's the past. This is the future. What is the one thing you can do to achieve your goals? Well, I don't know. What if you were to achieve this, what would it look like? What it would look like this? How would that be? That would be good. You see, all of these questions reach a dead end and doesn't allow for a deeper exploration to find new solutions. These are very conscious questions. We need to trigger unconscious solutions, so we need to ask unconscious questions. So we can still take these questions, we just have to play with the language a bit. Now, I'm not saying use language patterns because that's not going to work. That's worse than asking these questions. So here's some alternatives, and these are just very, very basic. This is a lot easier to do when it's in the moment, guys. These are off the top of my head, but hopefully it still gives you the point I'm trying to get across. So here's some examples. What is the easiest way for you to quit smoking? That's solution based. I'm saying, hey, client, go looking for a solution. Instead, we ask curious based questions. We're going to ask curious based questions about why their problem exists, not how to solve it. That slight change in direction has your client searching for new solutions. If I ask them the same questions they've asked themselves or had friends ask them or other therapists and coaches have asked them, they'll hit that same brick wall. So I changed the direction slightly. What's the easiest way for you to quit smoking? Solution based. Curious is what stops you from quitting? Think about what that does in your mind. And all I'm looking for is where does my client go looking? Do they go in search mode? Because where does that solution or even the answer to that question exist? In the unconscious mind. So I'm actually putting them into trance by asking a curious based question. The next one is, have you felt confident in the past? If yes, how can we feel this now? Your client will just say, well, I don't know. I've got no idea. Instead, I could ask something like, what have you wondered about when you're not confident? See the difference in direction. Every time I have my client go thinking or looking for an answer for a question that haven't been asked in this way before in this direction, they have to go to new places. And it's those new places inside their mind that give them the solution. It not only puts pressure on your clients to go find the solution once you give them solution-based questions, it puts pressure on you, the client, you, the therapist, because now you're trying to solve it. And that is not your job. It's the client's unconscious mind that's meant to solve it, not you. Solution-based questions basically inferring that you're trying to solve your client's problem for you based on your understanding of their symptom, and even worse off, your opinion of what they should do. So I'm never, ever, ever asking solution-based questions. You want to change up solution-based questions and ask curious-based questions, not how to solve it, but try and get a better picture of why their problem exists. What is the unconscious payoff? What is that unconscious mind getting from that payoff? Why does it continue even when the client's in pain or in fear or has a phobia? Why does this thing continue? When you ask curious-based questions, you will elicit a lot of unconscious processing, which is incredible. That's what we want. It also starts to trigger unconscious moments, which are trance moments. It also triggers a search for new solutions, not current solutions they have that are no longer working for them. So hopefully that makes sense. A little bit tough to do off the top of my head. If you want to see that in action, guys, come along to our next ACH training, which is happening early next year, or look through our catalog on YouTube. We've got a lot of demos that we break down, a lot of videos from our live trainings where you see me talk about this a lot. So guys, all in all, you want to get away from solution-based questions, get away from solution-based therapy. Solution shouldn't even be in your mind. Instead, go to a curious place that has your client looking for the solution that suits them, and it puts no pressure on you and no pressure on them. So hopefully that was informative, guys. See you in the next video.